Each night, we drift off to sleep and embark on a strange adventure. Similar to the hero of our mythical stories, the landscape is often bizarre, and different ideas can merge together in a strange type of hybridization of normal experience. Like the hero, we are offered cryptic clues, and solving these riddles can awaken us to our destiny. In this fantastic landscape of dreams, all that we see becomes a mirror of how we are changing. For many decades, I have interpreted dreams for people all over the world and from many different cultures. I have observed how dreams share common themes and draw upon similar archetypes no matter where we live. We can think of the mind as having two ways of taking in experience. Where the left brain might see a round object and immediately classify it as a ball, the right brain has a more holistic way of relating to the world. We were endowed with survival instincts, and during the day the mind can be focused on what is wrong or out of place in the environment. When we dream, however, these mechanisms are suspended. We open to wonder and have more freedom to explore the rich treasures that lay hidden within the unconscious. After writing The Mythology of Sleep in 2009, I launched my Way of Dreams app that interprets dreams. Its popularity reflects how the younger, earlier adopter generation has begun to take an active interest in their dreams. REM, or rapid eye movement during dreaming, proves everyone dreams nightly. We may not remember our dreams, but they are changing us in profound ways. The demands of socialization has placed an enormous emphasis on making us all conform to society's expectations. Not long ago, dreams were viewed as how they guide us in our growth. Ancient cultures saw dreams as the inspired type of vision, coming from a more divine perspective. A Chippewa elder wrote, "In the old days, our people had no education. All their wisdom and knowledge came to them from dreams. They tested their dreams, and in that way they learned their own strength." Even in the book of Job, we are told that Yahweh speaks to us through dreams, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on mortals. While they slumber on their beds, then their ears are opened. Dream analysts all agree that dreams seem to know the dreamer better than the dreamer knows themselves. When we dream, we awaken into a different way of exploring our life experience. We gain access to information beyond the personal and conscious, and we're inspired by ideas that shape us every bit as much as what we experience by day. The strange symbols in our dreams offer clues about how our outlook is changing. As if we have entered a house of mirrors, nothing is what it appears to be, and everything we encounter becomes a reflection of our inner world. The landscape, the lighting, even other people, they're all mirroring qualities we are exploring as we change and grow. Dreams reveal the exact opposite of what we believe to be true about ourselves. This is because we all have blind spots or ideas that we repress. But our dreams bring the truth to the surface. For example, the common dream of having your teeth fall out while you're speaking happens because what you may be saying to others may not reveal your true intentions. We open our mouths to speak, and instead, the dream pokes fun at our lack of credibility. We have difficulty remembering our dreams because activity is primarily occurring in the right hemisphere. We awaken into the logical left brain, and the dream evaporates. When we do remember our dreams, they seem so bizarre that we dismiss them. But like the Greek soldiers who used a horse as a decoy to break into Troy, dreams are cryptic to allow transformative ideas beyond the defensive walls erected by ego. The symbols that we find most unusual will always offer the greatest insight about what ego is defending. The fantastic adventures we experience while dreaming awaken the sleeping hero to the prospect of metamorphosis. Utilizing what Freud called condensation, a myriad of ideas can be blended into one profound morsel, and it captures our current struggle. Just as mythical stories make us laugh and orchestrate healing and renewal, dreams too are often comical and offer inspirational direction during times of transformation. We spend 1/3 of our lives in this unusual orientation to life. Since dreams are more active during times of crisis, they suggest how unhappiness funds our drive toward change. People often write me because of an unsettling nightmare, but I assure them how this is actually a positive sign that something repressed is awakening. We resurrect our untapped potential because of the quaking in the psyche. In this way, dreams attempt to bring our entire being out of hiding. We use words like irrational, unbelievable, or nonsensical when we're describing our dreams, but dreams go against what we believe to be true because they are the only way that we can ever transcend self-limiting beliefs. We exercise our imaginative muscle, and in both mythical landscapes and in dreams, we find symbols as metaphors that package everyday ideas into a meaningful adventure of self-discovery. Emulating our mythical heroes, we return from the underworld of unconscious exploration and are able to bring these ideas back into conscious awareness. In the first chapter, we explore Norse mythology in the archetype of the warrior. We visit a landscape that evolved in the space created by the fighting that goes on between ice giants and fire giants. Fire in dreams can embody our passion, while a winter landscape can reveal the part of us that remains frozen or aloof. We see both the passion and isolation that drives the overachiever. We meet Odin and the warrior's wolves, or how the warrior archetype detaches from experience. Through the symbolism of the wolves and ravens he sends out into the world to collect information, we see how accomplishing great things leaves little time for intimate interaction. We also look at the sacrifices the warrior makes to have power when Odin trades one of his eyes so that he can know the future. The future, rather than the present, is the realm of all overachievers. We also explore the self-undoing that can arise from inferiority complexes and unconscious motivation through Tyr, who sacrifices his arm for power. This chapter explores warrior dream themes to understand our motivation and how our sense of identity emerges from dreams. The different vehicles that appear in dreams will reveal our current relationship to our motivation. In Chapter 2, Issis and the Survivor's Famine, we look at the survivor archetype that often arises from being a caregiver to the caregiver. Egyptian mythology presents a dysfunctional family dynamic. The siblings battle and become disembodied, or put back together only to become disembodied again. This mythical landscape can embody the psyche of the survivor who can encounter life as a victim, believing that life is working against them. We explore the shadow or stalker in dreams as a part of us that wants to be understood, integrated, so that it can sleep in its own bed. Egyptian myths also capture the symbolism of how the dead continue to live among the living, and the survivor archetype can sometimes grapple with control issues like anorexia, bulimia, and depression. The mythology of ancient Egypt mirrors our barren dreamscapes. This chapter also explores the healing journey as the dreamscape becomes more rich with foliage, earth, or water. In this chapter, we resurrect the power of the unlived self and learn to live in joy and not famine. Chapter 3 explores the intellectual labyrinths created to avoid intimacy and feelings. In the myths of ancient Greece, we follow Theseus in the archetype of the negotiator. The negotiator must slay the Minotaur, a hybrid of bullheaded parental anger when unjust discipline was applied toward the expression of feelings. Whether through the use of humor, the endless search for truth, or an inability to settle into a partnership, the negotiator archetype finds clever ways of avoiding feelings. The negotiator often uses substances to gain access to feelings that are normally inaccessible. This can create confusion in partnerships because we can show up under the influence only to go back into hiding without these influences. In the dream of the negotiator, we find symbolism of strange metal enclosures that trap us in a strange clinical approach to human relationships. Negotiator dreams reveal the implosion of perspective, with missing windows and doors. Interaction and identity becomes an intellectual enterprise. But this chapter also describes the healing journey that allows us to live authentically and in sync with our feelings. In Chapter 4, we identify aspects of codependency through the archetype of the protector in the Roman mythical tales of Aeneas. This underworld myth helps us understand the subconscious net that lies in between consciousness and unconscious. We often explore abandonment issues and a lack of empowerment when others are driving us in dreams. If we are in the back seat, we have given our power away and have allowed our motivation to be driven by another. When we dream of traveling to the shore of a large body of water, this represents our first interaction with content that has remained unconscious. If we can retrieve the valuable part of our nature that was hidden away, we can build relationships founded upon self-love and interdependency. In Chapter 5, we explore the landscape of the King Arthur myths. These stories reveal a type of preconscious, or how synchronicity can tie dream symbols to what we experience. We follow the story of Percival the Fool and see how we shape our identity from the inside out if we are to give form to our authentic expression. This chapter also explores creativity, the imagination, and the cauldron of inspiration we call the Holy Grail that inspires our dreams. The Lady of the Lake offers a sword of empowerment to the hero, and we unlock the cryptic clues behind the Fisher King. We see how dream symbolisms of three is a transcendental merging of opposites. We also look at the three parts of a dream that reveal the conflict, the cause, and the resolution. In Chapter 6, through the mythology of the Americas, we identify the trickster in dreams as the archetype that can poke fun at our absolutes. We also discover the ways in which emotional conflict and guilt can present as psychosomatic illness. Whether through shamanism, Heyoka clowns, we see how the trickster archetype offers us the medicine of pulling the rug out from beneath our certainty. Guilt is always a misunderstanding and psychic conflict when we have taken ownership of something that wasn't ours to carry. The healing journey comes from our ability to loosen the extremes morality or some type of religious influence has placed upon us. We discover how the irrational can convolute our sense of being natural creatures in a natural world. In Chapter 7, we follow Gilgamesh from Middle Eastern myths to learn how we can stalk the shadow rather than having the shadow stalk us. In this chapter, projection and transcending the illusion of the other becomes a healing journey. We follow the hero and his more organic counterpart as they merge in the resurrection of authenticity. In the forest of fear, we discover how nightmares are a positive sign that power is being resurrected in the psyche. In Chapter 8, we look at the stories of ancient India and Nachiketas and the consuming fire. We sacrifice the unnecessary things ego wants to protect to open to the part of us that transcends the life experience. In the same way that dreams mirror the condition of our inner world, we can trace the unknown self in the way events always mirror our internal condition. While we can do little to change outer events, when we work to change the inner world, the outer world mysteriously reflects the shift in perspective. Finally, in Chapter 9, we trace the thread running through the way in the ideas of the ancient Taoists of China. We learn how to transcend the need to classify all that we see with extremes of judgment. We see how nature is merely balancing these extremes by bringing opposites together. It is in the things that we cannot see, such as the wind or high and low pressure systems, how they interact, that we can understand the natural progression of change. Interestingly enough, the 8 previous chapters and archetypes are captured in the 8 trigrams of the I Ching. The Mythology of Sleep is also a book that explores comparative mythology and religion. We observe how our ancient ideas actually unify rather than separate us. The Mythology of Sleep is an in-depth look at the common symbols that appear in both dreams and myths. Archetypes shapeshift as we transform through various levels of our awakening. This book is perfect for those who would like to gain deeper insight into why we dream and how to interpret dream symbols. It reveals how dreams continue to inspire us as we move towards lasting fulfillment.